James Kaufman, World News Report today, May 24th, 2025. God bless you and yours, no matter where you are in the world. Please subscribe, give us a thumbs up, ring that bell for critical future updates. Calls for special counsel to investigate Biden health cover-up. Not another special counsel. And even another special congressional committee? We're talking about millions of more dollars of taxpayers' money to get nowhere. Former Deputy Assistant Attorney General in the Office of Legal Counsel, John Yo, called for a special counsel to investigate the people who conspired to conceal Biden's declining health. Yo appeared on Fox News' Jesse Watters Primetime on Friday and told fill-in host Kayleigh McCannahan that a special counsel will be able to get people under oath to testify about Biden's health. House Oversight Chairman James Comer identified 5 Biden aides who were involved in the cover-up of Joe Biden's mental decline and the auto pen scandal. James Comer has demanded testimony from former Dr. Kevin O'Connor and 4 former aides related to the Biden health scandal. Chairman Comer had demanded testimony from Biden White House physician Dr. Kevin O'Connor, Director of Domestic Policy Counsel Neera Tanden, former assistant to the president and senior advisor to First Lady Jill Biden Anthony Bernal, former assistant to the president and deputy chief of staff Annie Tomasani, former special assistant to the president and deputy director of Oval Office operations Ashley Williams. All complicit. Like a special counsel is going to do any good. And Congress, a congressional committee, we've all watched those over the years. What have they accomplished? About as much as any special counsel. Nothing. John Yo said it's not to settle scores, it's to fix the presidency going forward.
My next guest says the way to get the answers is indeed a special counsel. Professor John Yoo works on the Whitewater Congressional Committee and was also former Deputy Assistant Attorney General for the Office of Legal Counsel. Professor Yoo, you made some fascinating comments this week on Outnumbered with us, and I want to break them apart. First you suggested there should be a special congressional committee. You worked on the Whitewater investigation, you've been in Congress. This would be analogous, I presume, to a January 6th committee, to a Watergate-type committee. What would that do as compared to Comer sending out letters and eventually subpoenas for oversight?
I think the first thing it does is that it would get people under oath. These people could then not lie, obfuscate, tell the American people things that are not true in order to cover up President Biden's health. And also, I think, to conceal whether they themselves abused power, broke federal laws by exercising the power of the office of the presidency without his authorization. And that kind of investigation usually has a single person, a special counsel. Here I say, let's have Robert Hur come back and do it. Right, a special counsel who conducts it like a prosecutor. And if those Biden...
Let's have Robert Hur come back and do it? This guy's lost his mind. That was 12 months of investigation to determine that he wasn't mentally fit to stand trial for all of his crimes?
Aides, Biden family members refuse to cooperate. Then the Justice Department can go in and force those subpoenas and throw people in jail for refusing to answer Congress's questions.
So that is a fantastic idea. The special counsel, you were the first one I ever heard float that idea, and I've since picked up on it. I believe in it very much. The special counsel, Robert Hur, is fascinating to me because Robert Hur is now seen as a very fair shooter on the issue of mental acuity. Not only that, he's prosecuting the case against the Trump administration on behalf of Harvard. So he's not someone you can say is biased or out there. So in order to get someone like Robert Hur on this case, how would that work? DOJ needs to appoint the special counsel?
We've got 2 special counsels. One is you can have one created by Congress. Congress can just put someone in charge of their own investigation, like you mentioned, Watergate, Iran-Contra, January 6th. Or the Justice Department can trigger those regulations that you mentioned earlier. That would be up to Attorney General Pam Bondi. She could just appoint Robert Hur special counsel just like he was before. In fact, you could almost say he has unfinished business.
Unfinished business? He said he couldn't prosecute because the man was insane or not mentally able to defend himself in court. And now you want to put the same man back on the case? I say screw special counsel, screw any congressional committee, and let's prosecute these people. Let's get them under oath doing a deposition. How about the real way? It's embarrassing.
We only got a glimpse of it from Robert Hur's first investigation when he said Joe Biden could not actually be put on criminal trial because he's a well-meaning man who has memory issues. Robert Hur's already halfway deep into the case. Why not get the guy who's already the expert on this? And Pam Bondi just has to ask, and he has to accept. And then they can get started right away.
You know, last question for you. You've written a ton about the executive branch, the power concentrated in the executive, just brilliant writings, ones I entirely agree with philosophically. But I'm wondering if you ever envision the executive branch working this way. One last sentence from the book. I've never seen a situation like this before. With so few people having so much power, they would make huge economic decisions without calling Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen. We've been through immigration, national security, now economic policy. Is this the way the founders intended the executive to work? 5 people where the president's a board member.
Kayleigh, that's the most important thing about this investigation. I hope that they're launched by DOJ and Congress. It's not to settle scores. It's not to get at Biden for the things he did that were wrong. It's to fix the presidency going forward. I don't think the founders who put all this power in the presidency, as you say, Kayleigh, because they wanted to take advantage of the speed, the certainty, the decision of one person. They said energy and executive is what they wanted. I don't think they ever anticipated you would have someone who really just became mentally incompetent while they were in the job. And that's what a congressional investigation could get started, to relook at that issue.
Professor John,
What a complete clown show. We're not going to spend millions of dollars in tax money to create another committee in Congress or a special counsel so we can go back and figure out that, well, Biden's incompetent. We knew that day one. And we're sure never going to get to the bottom of who knew what, when, and where. Yes, we all knew he was incompetent. These people are dreamers, especially this law professor here. Most importantly, this testimony under oath can all be obtained very inexpensively just through charges and a deposition. If you have to drop the charges, then you drop the charges, period. God bless. Share, subscribe, and always remember, anything's possible in Bizarro World.